Lesson 78, we're going to learn about rotations. And rotations is just another type of transformation. Rotation specifically is an isometry, meaning that the pre-image and its rotated image are the same shape and size. So notice, if we have a point or a center of rotation, calling it R, you always have a point of rotation. So this is our original image here, triangle ABC. And it wanted to rotate it, I don't know, however much around that point. And it'll specify that more throughout the lesson. But if it wants to rotate around point R, well, all we do is move this shape. And if you can see, it was just kind of rotated. But as it rotated, I drew it my best. But so it's not perfect. But as it rotated, it kept your same size and shape. Stayed a triangle and stayed the same size of a triangle. And notice I did A with a prime or a tick mark, B and C also with a prime. So that's just what a rotation is. Now, if we're looking at a coordinate grid and it's talking about rotations around the origin, let's talk about how we can translate or transform our pre-image and image. So our transformation, we have three kind of different formulas here for rotating a shape. So if a point xy, meaning your original coordinate in your pre-image, is rotated around the origin 90 degrees, then xy would change to negative yx. So if I had a point of, let's say, 2, 4, for example, that was my original xy, that would change to, well, y's got to come first and be negative, so negative 4, 2. That's the idea of your transformation there. If it's rotated 180 degrees, xy, you would switch the coordinates to be negative x and negative y. And 270, your transformation for xy would be y and negative x. So you flip them and you switch the sign on x. So let's look at just one example is all we're going to look at. The other things get a little more complex, but we won't dive into those quite as much during geometry. So in example 1, it says rotate this triangle MNP around the origin 180 degrees. So we're going to rotate it all the way, and we already know that it's going to be somewhere in this quadrant, somewhere in quadrant 3, since we're rotating it 180 degrees. So we have our three coordinates, M, N, P, 1, 1, 4, 3, and 5, 2. And since it's 180 degrees, this is going to be the transformation that we need to use. So all we have to do is switch the signs on the x and y coordinates. So we have 1, 1. And that would become negative 1, negative 1. 4, 3 would be negative 4, negative 3. 5, 2 would be negative 5, negative 2. So that's all you do. So 180 degrees, pretty easy, A-okay. And then if I graph that, it would be negative 1, negative 1, negative 4, negative 3, and negative 5, negative 2. Something like that. And I'd label them with the primes P. And that's the general idea of what it would look like. It's now been rotated. Okay, in a sense, 180 degrees. And that's how you do rotation. Just know your little formulas here. If it gets any trickier, we'll probably go over those more in class.